Alright, welcome to this week's vlog. Heading into a place called Lip Falls and Denham Falls. I've been to Lip Falls before, it's a beautiful little falls. Quite easy to get to, quite a hard hike in. I hear though that the trail's blocked now and can't get in, but I'm going to still see if I can. And Denham Falls as well. Now Denham Falls is a bigger falls, I've never been to it, it's up a little bit further. I'll see if I can get to it today. Alright, not sure if you see it, but over my right hand shoulder here, your left, my right, it's a place called Denham Falls. I'm hoping to get to that fall. I've never been there, it's a bit of a hike up, so I'm going to attempt it today. See how I go. The Beachmont locals know this place quite well. It's a well-worn track on the way in and out. It's not a lot, there's no four-wheel driving to get here. You just got to know where to stop. It's a bit of a reserve. Unless you know it's here, then you'll drive past it pretty easily. The locals use it for swimming during the summer months, cool down. Okay, so here I am at Lip Falls. I'll show you Lip Falls, it's just behind me here. Stunning little waterfalls. Struggling a little bit with the light, as you can see. Clouds are coming over, it's a very overcast day today. I've just got a break in the clouds at the moment, so I'm hoping more clouds will come across and block that sunlight out and just decrease that dynamic range and make it a lot easier for me to capture. Already I've spied this fallen branch down here as a potential foreground interest for the composition. Okay, so we'll see how we go with that. What I think I'll struggle there with is not so much the composition. I think the composition is quite a nice little composition. What I'll struggle with there is getting my shutter speed slow enough to slow down the water, so it's a ribbon type effect to it, but keeping it fast enough that that branch in the water doesn't blur, because it is moving in the water. It is quite a strong current here too. Okay, so here I am. Right behind me is this beautiful little scene. You can hopefully, yep, you can just see my camera here. You can see in the foreground the stick that I've got going in. I've had to really wait. I've been sitting here now for about 10 minutes waiting for the light. It's been very harsh light. I've been waiting for that cloud to go across. It's finally come. I'm at 4 seconds. F16. Try to get the water slow enough. And I'm at ISO, my base ISO is ISO 50. I also have my polarising filter on the front, just to try to lift some of those reflections off the water, so I can see down into that log as it goes into the water. I'll put my picture up now and I'll show you what it's like. Okay guys, I want to talk specifically about waiting for light. This morning was overcast and beautiful sort of light for this type of photography. After driving an hour and a half to get here, hiking about 45 minutes down and into here, so quite a fair bit of time invested in it already this morning. The light's gone. I've got this beautiful sunshine, which is a glorious day, but not good for this type of photography. Don't get disheartened. Wait, slow down and wait. Let the light come to you, and it will on days like today. But there is cloud cover. The clouds will roll across the sun at various times and give you different looks of, or different light. Wait for the light. Don't get disheartened. Okay, I want to talk about working a composition here. So I walked around this side here and hopefully you can see I found this log. And I started on this side of the bank trying to incorporate that log into it, but it was just too messy across this side of the image, the right-hand side of the image. I had the log leading you in and it was looking good, but just too messy on this side of the image. So I thought I would drop back, be able to zoom in and compress the image a bit more and take out the mess on the right-hand side. Well, what happened then was the log became the central theme, but I lost the beautiful flow of the water coming around that side. So I've now come back into the right a little bit. I've got rid of the rocks, these big rocks out of this side of the image, but I still have this beautiful S shape of the water as it runs through, and this log that leads you back up into the waterfall directly behind. I think it's a very solid image. I like the image. It'll be good to see what happens in post-processing. I'm just waiting for the light right now. I've got a cloud close to going across at the moment. My exposure is an 1/8 of a second. An f/16 polarising filter on the front. I do want to be able to punch through and see some of the rocks underneath the water here as well and take the glare off. But as soon as that cloud goes across, I'll take the shot and I'll put it up for you. So I've come down to a different part of the waterfall here. You can see the top of Lip Falls at the back here, and you've got these beautiful little falls in the foreground. I'm going to run you through how I work a composition. Hopefully this will work for you. First of all, I'm going to let you know is I use my mobile phone. What that does is allows me, when you come across a scene like this, it can be very distracting, like there's all these distractions. I know what I would like to achieve, but whether or not I can achieve that is a different matter. Now, and before I go through the rigmarole of getting my camera out and setting my camera up, I want to make sure that the scene is going to be worth it and I'm going to be able to capture what I see. So what the mobile phone allows me to do without even taking any photos is eliminate distractions, shows me the balance of the image, the overall balance of the image, and starts to show me where I need to be roughly with my camera. So that when I take my big camera out and I start setting it up, I'm not running through 4 or 5 different compositions before I get there. I know roughly the composition that I want, and then it's very easy from there to start to work it. So I'm going to use this camera that I'm on right now. I'm going to show you each composition and as I went through. Okay, so this is the scene I saw first. I liked the scene. What I tried to do is get up and get the top of Lip Falls in the center, and I'm going to try and do that for you without injuring myself. The top of Lip Falls in the center, and I sort of visualize a shot like that, but there is too much distractions on the right hand side and it is too right heavy. Okay, it is not a balanced image. So I then moved it. I came down a little ways. So I then came to this shot, and Lip Falls is relatively in the center, and I've got the 2 falls on either side, and I thought I'd go a little bit tighter in, but still, it is not a balanced shot. There's a lot of clutter over to the right-hand side that I didn't really like. So I thought I'd come around to the left a little bit more. This is where I ended up. Okay, roughly in this shot. Framed a little bit differently, but I've got the rock in the foreground, which I can use, or I can go in a little bit tighter than that. And I'll see if I can do it with this lens here. I can go in a little bit tighter than that. And I also have that there composed like that. It starts to tell a story. You've got the water at the top cascading down into a top pool, even though you can't see it. Then you know it comes through those rocks and splits and comes down these rocks here into the pool in front of me. Okay, so this is what I go through when I compose my images. Because when you see this scene first, I know what I want to capture, but it's cluttered and it's trying to get the story pulled out of a very cluttered scene and starting to focus the viewer on the areas that I want them to focus on, not all the clutter that's around you. It is a beautiful area, but you need to do this when you're taking your waterfall shots. Otherwise, it's just a waterfall in amongst some trees. So here I am. I've got my tripod set up. I've decided on portrait mode in my camera, and I've built my scene from there. So I started at the top, and you've seen that just before, and I've worked my way down to this composition. Once here, I then started to work where my tripod goes and where my camera goes. I brought my camera out to actually try and isolate now using the focal length that I need to get a story in the image. It begins. I tried lifting the camera up a little bit to get a little bit more of the top of Lip Falls, but then the perspective of the rock changed and I didn't like it. So I dropped my tripod down. It compresses the scene at the back. It makes Lip Falls, the top part of Lip Falls, less dominant. The dominant part of this is the rock in the foreground and the waterfalls in the middle. So the top of Lip Falls starts to bring you into the image. This falls here in the center of my image. I'm using this falls, not the falls to the right-hand side. And it diagonally cuts you through the middle third of this image before your eyes come to rest at the bottom third of this image on this rock in front of you. And it cuts a V or a Z shape through, or a diagonal through the image. From there I built my settings for my camera. Now I've got a little bit of time to talk about this because the clouds are over. It's playing ball with me at the moment. So I begin with my ISO. I want my ISO. The ISO is the sensitivity of light captured by the actual sensor itself. It doesn't allow you to capture any more light. Just using digital gain, it turns up the sensitivity of the sensor to be able to capture that light. I want that as low as possible, because the minute you put the gain in there to lift the sensitivity of the sensor, you start to get noise in your images. So first I have that set at a low one, which is ISO 50 on my D500. I then look at my shutter speed. Now we'll want a shutter speed slow enough to drag that water down and make it look like a ribbon. Too fast and I end up getting water droplets and spots and so on all the way through it, and it doesn't look as pleasing. Too slow and I lose texture. I'm finding about 3 seconds is good for this particular image. Okay, I've had a little bit of a play. From there I now want to set my exposure from there. Okay, and I use my f-stop, my aperture for that. That controls the amount of light that's let in. Now I want to stop it down a little bit because the more light that allows in, the less depth of field you have. So I've got it at f16. All up, that gives me the speed that I want, the quality that I want, and the depth of field that I want. I also want to get rid of the glare off this water. I want to be able to see through it. So I have my polarising filter on the front. It's a Nissi polarising filter, and it's set to maximum on it, so it's maximum polarisation. Cuts through that glare, brings out the blackness of the rocks, cuts through the glare in the water. Now I also use my histograms in order to get the correct exposure. I'm not looking for a perfect peak. What I'm looking for is that histogram is a visual representation of the data I have collected, and I am making sure I have all the data I need to create that image once I get it back in Lightroom. Yes, I want to get it right in camera as best as possible, but it's going to come out flat in camera. I'm going to have to do some post-processing. I'm shooting in RAW. Now the light's just gone, so I'm lifting up my f-stop to f14, and I just increase exposure or the speed to 4 seconds. I'm taking that image, and I think that is a very lovely image. I'll put it up now for you. Now I hope you've enjoyed how I put together my shots when I'm in situations like this, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I do struggle getting the vlogs out. I've said that in other videos in the past. I do struggle. I'm trying my best to get them out once a week if I can. Please support me, and if you like my channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell icon if you do. Okay, that way you get notified of my recent uploads. I'm going to be getting out a lot more with my children, Okay, so you're going to see them a lot more in the ensuing videos. And I'm going to be introduced to my little 3-year-old who's about to take up photography as well. He'll have his first camera his birthday coming up. So he'll be introduced to some photography as well. So you'll see him through the videos as well. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Thank you.